So when it released, I never actually watched Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, I had a look at the first few episodes back in 2020, but wait, 2020? Where does the time go? Anyway, I didn't think much of it. In fact, dare I say it, I was one of the people to call it mid. And I'm so glad I didn't voice that opinion back then, because with all the posts and videos popping up in my feed, I think I would have actually been stampeded to death. With the new season releasing tomorrow from when I'm recording this, what better time is there? And I have to say, you know, it's still pretty mid. Now hold on before you click off. I don't say that because I didn't enjoy it. In fact, I loved it. But I say that because every shonen is mid. And in the end, this is literally just all those other shonens put together. I mean, a 15-year-old kid having to commit a taboo to gain spiritual powers in order to kill normally invisible monsters that feed off of people's negative emotions. But that's the thing, right? It's essentially a standard shonen setup, and by all definitions, should probably be mid. But why isn't it? What I've noticed is, when it comes to most popular non-shonen anime, to be successful, generally it needs to do something new and fresh to make it interesting to watch. Example, romance. Watching two dense people that like each other slowly bumble their way into a relationship can only be interesting to watch so many times before you gotta start throwing in stuff like incest. Isekai, watching some normal boring dude from our world get transported into another world, is only so interesting as long as you keep throwing in new ideas. Like incest. God damn, what the hell is up with Japan? What the fuck? But shonen is a little bit different. Now, this is just a theory, but I think shonen is already the perfect format for mass entertainment, to generally appeal to as many people as possible. There's generally a formula, you know, have like a generally likable main cast with an overarching goal to get behind, as they, along with the friends they make along the way, fight bad guys in the coolest ways the writers can think of, all the while having heartwarming and funny moments in between. Unless you're Chainsaw Man. But it seems like as long as you stick to those guidelines and do them well, for a shonen to be good, you don't really need anything else new, unless you're Chainsaw Man. It's the same reason My Hero and Demon Slayer became so big, despite neither really doing anything specific that innovated the genre, but, you know, they still became massive titans, because they did everything their predecessors did, but better. And Jujutsu Kaisen seems to be the best shonen to date because it does everything they do, even better. You could say it goes even further beyond. The plot itself I found to be pretty decent. I mean, it's not the greatest writing, but it has its moments. I wouldn't say it's what's carrying the show, as again, going around fighting demons, I mean spirits, isn't particularly a unique idea. But it's good enough to deliver everything else that does carry the show. The fights are absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've heard complaints about the power system being slightly confusing, you know, with cursed energy being the explanation for all sorts of abilities that seem to be completely unalike and different from each other. And that's great! When a shonen's power system has a ton of different unique abilities, it's an absolute disappointment seeing the fights play out as just punching contests until someone gets more motivated to punch harder. Case in point, most of My Hero Academia and even Demon Slayer. Now don't get me wrong, a lot of those fights look really cool and they feel really cool, especially Demon Slayer, but come on. The power system's different dynamics and how abilities interact with each other is never taken advantage of. It just comes down to good guys and bad guys hitting each other back and forth. Jujutsu Kaisen has these too, of course, but they also have so many where the powers interacting are the main focus. Take Yuji and Todo versus Hanami, you know, the boogie woogie clapping, teleporting nonsense, swapping around with... It's good. But I think where the show really shines is with its characters. You know, the posts you see everywhere on Instagram and TikTok aren't normally about the plot or the fights, they're normally about the cast. Mostly Gojo. I swear to God, if I see another edit of this, I'm actually gonna lose it. You've got the classic shonen trio here. You know, you got the edgy one, the dumb one, woman, and there's such an interesting dynamic between this main cast. You know, the entire group having a couple brain cells shared between them, but it's just fun to watch them interact, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of miss when shonens got filler episodes, because I would love to just watch them hanging out with each other. You know, really, it's just a fun show with good fights and even better characters, and at the end of the day, I think that's really all you need for a good shonen. But yeah, I don't know, it's kind of mid, I guess. It's not overrated though, cause it's pretty good, but it's what the fuck?